Fate of the universe on the line. I want Iguodala.
Kevin Durant. You know who I am.
Hurry, way downtown. Bang! Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Is this the dagger?
Aggressive Jazz and cold deserts of Phoenix, Bucks in the headlights and cold Philly feelings. The NBA is planning an expansion and Vegas could have its day. This intro is more than 10 seconds, but that's always been the way. On the hashtag Ballers NBA podcast, your favorite NBA podcast in an Indian accent. We have survived a clubhouse disruption on our territory and navigated round one of the playoffs quite successfully. This week in the association, KD channeled his inner LeBron vis-a-vis turnovers. Chris Paul channeled his inner Vino mentality vis-a-vis getting better with age, and Tom Thibodeau channeled his inner Dwayne Casey vis-a-vis getting coach of the year immediately after bad news. Speaking of channels, I've got with me, as always, someone who used to get only DD1 and DD2 in his childhood, someone who thinks perfumes are a scam, and someone who has steered his energy into green economics recently. Vinay Divaya, my co-host, welcome back.
Welcome. That was one of your best intros, I must say.
Thank you.
Very good intro. Very good. Very good. Good job, my friend.
Thank you very much. Let's not drown ourselves in congratulations yet. Vineet, round one done.
Done and dusted.
Round two also.
Round two is almost done. Yeah, round two is almost done.
We missed the date with the playoffs last week, but I think last week we started suffering from too much basketball fatigue.
Too much. I mean, we've been. I mean, I don't think I've been so involved in basketball for a while. I mean, even though last time we did the same thing, which is we did like the playoff edition where we recorded and posted it. It's different when it's live and you have to remain engaged and you have to answer. Yeah, I mean, bring people on, kind of direct traffic. So I have to give a lot of credit for you because I mean we have kind of taken the host responsibilities back and forth, but I would say that you definitely have taken the brunt of it and you've done a great job. So
well, that's thank you very much, but I refuse to hand over the guest role to someone who cannot do it. That's why I'm very okay with you doing it, because you still have yes, I want to do it and I want to do it, and I don't know, at least I find it very empowering when I can be like, okay, bye, we will see you later, and boom, exit, kick him out. Small joys in life.
Small joys in life, yeah.
We need that.
Small trips of power.
This, that Stanford study, right, where they realize that you give little people some power and it'll go
some power and they go.
That's why I never wanted to get any power.
The prison thing. No, what's the name? The prison.
Stanford prison experiment.
Stanford prison.
It's crazy.
That was when I was in Cornell. Name drop. I was doing biomedical engineering, and I was like, okay, I need to I was from India. I was like, I got to get some chicks, right? I was like, let me take a Psych 101 course. Oh my God, things I've done. So I enrolled to the Psych 101 course, which is supposed to be, if you know anything about the US credit system, you can take as many credits. And I had overburdened my credits because it took 3 undergrad courses in the first semester for obvious reasons.
Meet the undergrad chicks.
yeah, obviously. And and there's all this, but I just couldn't follow through because it was anyway, this was the first lesson in Psych 101. This was the first case study that they talked about, but I dropped out of all those courses because it was so dumb. I'm not dumb, but it was just because it is an undergrad course, right? And undergrad in the US is even it is so simple and yes, they dumb it down to a really low level. And I just was I would love to, go and do these assignments with you and act like I'm interested in these questions, but I just can't. And so I didn't. But that's where I heard about the Stanford prison experiment.
Yeah, I think all these experiments are pretty fun because what I find most interesting about any of these experiments is it's an actual experiment. There is a reason they are actually measuring something. You can understand that if you're doing an experiment in a chemistry lab or a physics lab, you know what they're measuring, and it makes sense also. But here also they are sort of measuring emotion and they're sort of measuring, what leads to a certain decision. And I find it breathtaking that, they have taken something which human beings just do unconsciously, and they're like, okay, no, this is why they do it. Which is why I hate like all this, all these people who misuse the power. Like they take the power of psychological experiments and then impose it onto human beings. They're like, we can influence elections by using this, and that I think is a travesty of justice, and like it's one of the worst things that's happened in this world when they mix analytics and psychology.
Yeah, I mean, if you pay somebody enough, they'll use things for their own. I was watching this movie called Warlord, I don't know, or God of War, of
the
Lord of War, yeah. And I was just, like, it is what it is. You give someone enough money, and enough insecurity, they'll do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of how it is.
The insecurity is supposed to be within us. Now the whole world knows that if you walk a certain way, you like a certain picture, we sort of know what kind of person you are, which is not cool. Anyways, we need to be, like I said, round 1 is done and round 2 is almost done. A lot of teams are on the verge of like
elimination.
Like the
Nuggets.
We got to get to the cream of the Western Conference pretty soon. As of today, Nuggets are 3-0 down against the Suns, and Utah is 2-0 up against the Clippers. So by tomorrow, we'll know exactly what is up. We hope there's something different. Like I said, we need Phoenix Suns. We sort of maybe did not realize how good they were after the Lakers thing, because we, put all the success thing to, Anthony Davis not being there and LeBron being old and the Lakers, nobody is showing up. But the way they've played against the Denver Nuggets, I mean, the pace is high. The intensity is like when they come into the game itself, it's like the first quarter is like, oh, please, like, slow down. They don't know what slowing down is.
They're not screwing around.
They're not screwing around. No, not taking any sort of, like even the bench unit when it's coming on, the intent, like the score mindset to score is still there. They're not like, oh, we are not that great, CP3 versus Cameron Payne. No, they're like Cameron Payne, boom, 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 dance, dance 3. Your thoughts, Vineet? I mean, these were my thoughts.
I mean, my thoughts exactly. I hate the fact that they have made my Nuggets and Jokic look extremely bad. They destroyed the Nuggets in game 1, and then I thought, okay, maybe this is a fluke, and Jokic is going to figure it out. Then they completely annihilated on the second game, and that's when I realized it's going to be a sweep. But I said, maybe there's, Jokic will come up with something. He got the MVP. He wants to show people his, he's going to channel his inner Kobe.
He doesn't have any inner Kobe.
He doesn't have any inner Kobe. For good reasons. And then the third game they did the same thing. They killed the Nuggets, just killed it. I mean, I don't expect the Nuggets to come back, but if they do, even if they win 2 games, I mean, they may probably not win the series, but if they come back to win even 2 games, I think that would be a great achievement for them, because honestly, the Nuggets depth is terrible. It has been exposed completely by the Suns.
I'm now that sort of thinking that how did they manage to cross?
How did they?
Portland?
Exactly. And because of Jokic, man, Jokic was averaging 35 points in that series. People don't realize how many points Jokic had scored, because he didn't have a 50-point game. He didn't have a 100-point game like Damian Lillard, but he was consistently scoring that much. I mean, but all credit goes to the Suns. Phenomenal team. Execution is just
absolutely
to the point. Everything, their game plan. You know what they're going to do. You know how they're going to defend. You know how they're going to attack, and they follow it like to the T, which I think is, and I've said this in our live, is very Spurs very this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. Very like army regiment. This is what, and I never thought of this before, but I've heard certain people, certain analysts say that the Spurs were like an army, and I never thought, because I was a big fan of the Spurs, but the way they executed everything, the way, I think one person said that they were like a snake, they were just crush you slowly, the death is slow, so you don't realize it till you're like, shit, we lost. And I thought that's when I realized, you know what, that is right. That's exactly how the Spurs play, because the Spurs are not flashy. So you're not going to get like 50 points from somebody, not one person is not going to scare the shit out of you. So it's like slowly the first, the first quarter, they'll have like a 5-point lead. Second quarter, they have a 3-point lead. It's a slow crushing of your soul.
By the end of the day, it's a 15-point game.
It's a 15, and that's exactly how the Suns play. It's not, yes, Devin Booker has had his moments, but if you look at their team, it's not like someone is like standing out and doing something great. Everybody's chipping in. So it's like a slow death. Like everybody's just coming in and like giving you like a 10-point here, 15-point there, block here.
We talked about this on the live as well, right? Like none of those people are averaging double-digit field goal attempts. That is mind-blowing. The fact that nobody is saying, "Mere ko ball chahiye. Give me the ball right now." Not even Devin Booker. Like Devin Booker today had some 20 field goal attempts, but I'm pretty sure his average also would not be that much. Like they've spread the ball here. If this guy is there. DeAndre Ayton has been like doing his thing.
Phenomenal.
Chris Paul, though, my God, 33 assists and 3 turnovers, something like those are ridiculous numbers, man.
So let me ask you this question
again. You're gonna ask me this question.
This question is coming. Do you now believe CP3 is better than Russell Westbrook?
No, I don't believe CP3 is better than Russell Westbrook.
What? Even after this?
No, man, come on. He can do that. That's okay. The team is... CP3 is a great point guard. He's a good point guard. As in, he doesn't have Russell's thinking, I have to score this many points. I have to do this. I have to do that. Like, Russell Westbrook believes in a different way. CP3 believes in a different way. Now, who is right? According to numbers and according to what the team has done.
If you were starting a team, and you had Russell Westbrook.
If I had young Russell Westbrook, if I had young CP3, I would take young Russell Westbrook. If I had young Russell Westbrook and old CP3, then depends. Like, do I have 1 year?
If you had old CP3 and old Russell Westbrook,
then old CP3. I think old CP3 has more value than old Russell Westbrook.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, that does not mean the CP3 is my top list of favorite.
You're saying that CP3 is not that much better than Russell Westbrook. He's like a little bit better.
Like what? In what?
Just in terms of like his ability to be a point guard. Like Russell Westbrook gets a lot of assists.
Yeah, absolutely.
But does he make the team as better as CP3 does?
That I don't know how to probably answer that. Does he make the team as better? I don't know. If you're asking, would Russell Westbrook be able to do what CP3 did with the OKC Thunder last year in the bubble with Shea as his running mate? Then I don't think so. Because like I said, Russell Westbrook has he takes a lot on his shoulders, and CP3 he takes a lot on his mind. Like he's that kind of guy. Like he doesn't. He's gonna take all of you together. Russell Westbrook, like, I'm gonna go. You guys better follow me, because I'm gonna be there. Like, I'll see how many of you can follow me. Which may not be a great leadership quality, but I don't think we are talking about that. But I guess a point guard at some point.
But I mean, what I was getting at is because I
what you're getting at is Russell slander, that I know. But you
no. Come on, man. I love Russell Westbrook. There's no slander against him. I love him. I mean, I've told you, he's like a phenomenal. I mean, I would pick Russell Westbrook any day in my team.
You just hate my peace of mind. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I just like to banter a little bit. But I think that what I was thinking of doing this like series, and I don't know when it's going to come, so no one asked me. There was like something called like winning basketball, right? So in terms of assists, right, there are some assists which are like
easy assists,
empty assists, but doesn't make it doesn't make the team better. Whereas like if you look at CP3, he doesn't average that many assists. Like I don't think even he's averaged 10 assists in the last 2-3 seasons. Like he's probably averaging like 8, 9, somewhere there, 7, 8, 9. But the way he makes the assists, the way he carves the defense so that like everyone is set up and he takes his time, and all of that I feel like is kind of like what I think Tony Parker was very good at that also. But obviously Tony Parker had the Spurs and they had a system and all that. But I think like Chris Paul is the system, right? Like he makes sure that his assists mean something where it opens up things. I don't know. I'm just trying to like have more of an understanding of what does it mean to have winning basketball kind of assists.
Okay, then let me ask you this thing, right? Like, because you are a huge proponent of coaches and their influence and stuff. What do you think Monty Python, Monty Williams's role has been in this resurgence? Or like, do you see any sort of contribution to? I mean, I'm sure you see some contribution. I mean, there's no way that they've done as well with no contribution from Monty Williams. But what do you think his role is in this in Phoenix's remarkable turnaround?
I think the most important part of a coach is to get all the players to buy in 100% in the system that they make.
Okay.
Right. So that is the biggest and most important part of the coach.
Which is the player management, what you're saying.
I would not say player management, but like most players are not stupid. Most players are not stupid. They understand basketball. They understand what is required. They're willing to make the sacrifices if what is being proposed is reasonable. You know, like they want to win. Everybody wants to win. Obviously, there are certain people who don't execute as well as you may want them to execute. And that's where like the coach again comes in, where the coach is like on you, is like, why didn't you do this? Why did you leave your person here? Why did you not stay in your defensive assignment? So that's a part of the coaching part. But I think also like getting buy-in from all the players is very important. I think Monty Williams had that buy-in last year itself. You know, the Suns played the way they play last year. They didn't have Chris Paul to manage what the coach's expectation was on the floor. So all you had was, you basically had Devin Booker who had the ball, and he had to make all the decisions, which probably he's not mature enough to make, or maybe he couldn't translate what the coach wanted from him to his team on the floor.
And then his pace is one pace, which is fast. So there's like very little, breaking power in him. But I feel what Chris Paul does is that he sort of is that governor or that controller of the speed. Like when he speeds up, he can speed up everyone. Like he knows that, because I don't know if anyone has noticed, but maybe they have, like, usually, when there are players who want the ball, right? When there are players who know that they are there for scoring, their best asset is scoring, nothing else, or they want the ball in their hand, like a LeBron, Westbrook, anyone, or scorers, pure scorers like a Jason Tatum, Devin Booker. When they don't have the ball and they're running, their first look is always behind to see when they'll get the ball. That is because they don't trust the person bringing up to realize that, I have to get him going, or I can sense that this guy is getting there. I have noticed many times when they are running, Devin Booker never looks back because he knows that the ball will be in CP3's hand. He just has to do his thing. He'll get the ball in his hand. Because you see Russell Westbrook, if he doesn't have the ball, he gets those little, where's the ball? Like he'll look at the guy bringing the ball up to be like, I need the ball, give me the ball. LeBron James, same thing. Mostly he'll have it, but other cases like Devin Booker last year, they'll want the ball because they want to initiate the action. But nowadays, what is happening is they trust the play. It's not even an NBA thing. Like anywhere, even if you play normal ball itself, that main guy has that feeling that I'm going to look because I know I have to get the ball. So I feel Devin Booker, Chris Paul has sort of calmed him down in that I'll get you the ball, you will get your shots. Don't even worry about it. When we are in trouble, obviously we're going to go to you, but we need you to. I mean, imagine, man, like a starter on that team not even averaging 15 field goal attempts. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Can you imagine if a Kevin Durant team having that sort of a number? Kevin Durant will not be happy if he's taking just 10 to 15 sort of shots a game.
Well, I mean, that's I go back to the Spurs thing. I mean, like, it's not new to me. Like, that's how the Spurs is played, like for 20 years. Tim Duncan could have averaged 30 not 30, but like 25 every season without a problem.
Since we did talk about the Spurs, I'll bring up a topic out of my own head, which is Kawhi Leonard. We have not talked about him for a while.
Yes.
Everyone's counted him out. Everyone was like, Luka magic, Luka this, Luka that. Luka's going to sweep them. Luka's going to take them to the cleaners, this, that. And Kawhi's like, man, these people forgot. I have to remind them again. Boom. He put those hands on the Luka boy, made sure that, it was difficult for him to score. It was difficult for him to be his majestic self, from game 1 and 2. And that's all that they could have hoped for. And he did it. I mean, what do you feel, Sam? Because now they're facing a little trouble in the Utah Jazz series. So, we are hoping that he comes back so that
he comes back. He turns it on. Yeah, I think that obviously people have always underrated Kawhi Leonard. Mostly because he's kind of a quiet person.
Did you mean quiet?
Quiet. That's what I meant. And his game is too efficient for people to even realize. It's just like he's more efficient than Kevin Durant. He scored more points than Kevin Durant. Like it's crazy. Like Kevin Durant is supposed to be the most
talented scorer,
and Kawhi leaves him in dust. For seasons, not even like this season, last season, the season before that. Kawhi's just been incredible. I think that what he does offensively is so underrated. I don't know why. I really don't get it. Like for me, every time Kawhi does that jump shot, it's almost like it's going in. There's when it misses, it's like a surprise to me. Like, oh shit, it missed. Like in the last game, he missed a lot of shots, and I was very surprised that he missed a lot of shots. And credit to the Utah Jazz defense. Like they played criminally good defense on him. They threw 3 bodies regularly at him.
Yeah,
it was very good defense. So that's the first part. The second part is his defense, right? Like how many players that score as efficiently at that high rate? I mein, he averaged more than Damian Lillard, Luka. No, not Luka. I think averaged more than him. More than KD and all that. But who plays the kind of defense that Kawhi plays when Kawhi wants and when required? I don't think there is any play like that. And I asked you this thing, like name me a player in the last 20, 30 years that is offensively that good and defensively that good. And you came up with LeBron and young LeBron. I still don't agree with you with the young LeBron, because young LeBron was
I didn't say young LeBron. I said peak LeBron.
Peak LeBron. Okay. Peak LeBron was athletic. I don't think that he had that.
I think he used to got the other, like the best defender, best offense on the other side. He used to got Paul George back in the day when he was not pandemic P. In that beautiful series against the Pacers.
Yeah. So think about it, right? So if the only person you could think of is LeBron James, and the other person whose name was that? You said one other name. No, it starts with the M and ends with the N.
Oh. Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan. Yeah. Again,
right? So, I mean, there are levels to this, right? And if those are the only 2 names that you can come up with to even have a comp to what Kawhi is doing, right, is incredible. And still he is like, in some lists is like the 10th best player of the league. I was like, come on, man. Like, what does the guy need to do to prove to you that he's really good? Like they'll have like Jason Tatum in front of him. Jason Tatum, I mean, it's just like, it blows my mind that people don't realize. And I wanted to start this conversation. It's like, why do people underrate Kawhi? Like, why? Is there something in his game that you look at and you say, oh man, he's bad at this? He's not very good at
it's passing. Not about that, right? I think there's a lot of recency bias also. Last year, he completely choked against the Nuggets. This year also, they have been able to sort of neutralize him. I'm not saying that, that's... but
he didn't complete. He did not play well in 2 games, 2 quarters.
They were up 3-1. They were up 3-1.
Agreed. I'm not right.
And they were not Nuggets were not the much better team. They were not the better team.
One could say that, but now that you have Jokic being the MVP and they destroyed. I mean, I'm just saying that it wasn't a bad team. It wasn't like
I wouldn't say not a shitty team, but definitely not the better team. Like if you go up 3-1 on a team, then
yes, you should be able to close it out. Yes. But was it only Kawhi's fault in that sense? I don't think so. I mean, it's not like, but he did. I mean, the point being that he has performed really well even in the regular season. He's played enough games, and everyone keeps saying, "Oh, load management." He has played enough games. Like he's played as many games as probably like who's done like, I don't know.
I think he's
like
played
Kyrie.
Not
62 games.
Did he play 62 games? That's almost 84%.
Yeah, he's played a lot of games, but it's just, I don't know why people just think that. I want to understand this, because I understand this about Tim Duncan, right? Like when people underappreciate Tim Duncan, I get why they underappreciate it, because he is offensively not in your face. Like he will get his 20, 15, 22-15 and he'll be like, all right, I get everybody else going. But his real power is on the defense. Like he's just, he's kind of like Rudy Gobert. Like, it's just that we lock down on the paint. And then you combine with a 2015 efficient 2015. That's a phenomenal player for you. So, but I understand why people don't get it. But with Kawhi, I don't get it because he's offensively so good and so like he's like the numbers talk about it. When you see him play, you're like shit. Like you're scared that he has the ball and he's going to like destroy you. He has done clutch moments like the way he destroyed with 43 points. But still, people under it. So I want to understand that better. So let me ask you this, Ashwin, because you gave Kawhi Leonard a 7.
Yes.
Yeah. So why?
No. But we were talking about the regular season.
LeBron was 6. But you put him below LeBron, who did not even play enough games.
No, he did play enough. I mean, he did not play as many as Kawhi maybe, but
So my point is like, so there is something that you underrated him for, right? What is that? Like, what exactly do you think that people see? Because I'm sure you see that too. It's like you just feel like, okay, he's not that great or he's not that good.
It's not that Kawhi is bad. It's that there are examples of people who are putting up much better numbers than Kawhi. It's not that Kawhi is bad. It's not that we are looking at it from a one. I don't know about anyone else. Okay, I'm just talking about me. It's not that we are sitting and looking at Kawhi as if they are all going to play one-on-one. If Kawhi plays one-on-one against anybody today, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to. I really don't. I think only KD might have the offensive arm to go around him. Giannis can't do that. Giannis needs a landing strip to be able to do anything.
LeBron just pick the pockets. Yeah, no problem.
Steph Curry, imagine if he guards Steph Curry one-on-one. Like, that. So we're not talking about that, right? We are talking about he played 72 games. There are other people who played. Are you telling me that I would say that Kawhi is... I mean, even Jokic, I don't know. I think Jokic is...
No, but the reason is like, you see all these other guys, right, that we put above him. I think, I don't know if you had Luka above him, but
no.
I think
Luka
you have
8.
I think Luka was 9 for both of us. I remember we both had Luka at 9.
Okay. I'll have to check the archives, but yes.
So the thing is, Kawhi doesn't take that many shots.
Yes.
Right. So if he doesn't take that many shots, he's not going to score that much points.
Absolutely. I mean,
right. So it's a simple math thing, right? Like he averaged for his regular season, I think like 26 or 25 points, and he's taken only like 19 shots, something like that. Just check if you can.
Okay, I'm checking. Kawhi played 52 games. Okay, not 62, 52 games.
Sorry, my bad.
Absolutely. He had splits of 51% field goal, 40% from 3, and 89% from free throw line.
So that's a 50, 40, 90.
Very close to it. Yes.
Yeah. And I think that is better than KD's.
That I'll have to check. 7 rebounds, 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 24.8 points per game.
But how many field goal attempts?
18 field goal attempts.
18 field goal. Now, go check Joel Embiid's field goal attempts. It's ridiculous, right? So yeah, I mean, if Kawhi takes more shots, he's going to make more points. But that's not how he plays. Like that's not his thing. Like he doesn't want to take. He wants to be efficient. He wants to get other people going. And if you listen to his post-game interviews and all of that stuff, he'll say like one thing that I want to focus on is being unselfish on offense. And I think the Clippers are unselfish. And I agree with them. They are very unselfish on offense. And they just have to get better defensively. So I don't understand this.
Joel Embiid averages the same amount of field goal attempts, 17.5, as Kawhi. Kawhi 17.5, Joel Embiid 17.6, and Joel Embiid scores 29 points per game, 28.5.
Yeah.
So
he was an MVP candidate.
Do you want to redo that sentence or like?
No. What I'm saying is that like I understand why like Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and all these people are better, right? These guys they are centers. They are more efficient. They are, these people are MVP candidate people, but Kawhi is almost there. Like my point is that you shouldn't like put him 10 is my point. It's not like, if he takes more 7, behind LeBron. Come on, man.
No, LeBron, come on. That's not what we're talking about. LeBron did great things, and LeBron always gets the...
How many games did KD play?
Don't make me...
I just want to... Just tell me how much KD played, bro. That's it.
Kevin Durant played 35 games.
35 games.
Yes.
Right? And you had put him above Kawhi Leonard.
Yes.
Yes. And LeBron also played less games. You put him above Kawhi Leonard. So the point I'm saying, I'm not saying that it is a bad option. I'm not saying I would not argue if you put KD and LeBron above Kawhi Leonard. I'm saying, but there has to be something that he's doing wrong that people underrate him. Is my point.
He's just not doing anything spectacular. That's it. That's the only difference that I can see from purely numbers perspective. He's shooting 50, 40, 30. Great. Effective field goal percentage is 56, which is, I guess, okay for that.
For a guard is very, very, very good. I mean, numbers, he's a great player. His team is doing really well in the West, right? And his only other running mate is Paul George. Let's be honest. Pandemic P is not the Paul George of the Pacers, right? Or even the OKC. So why is he underrated? Like Kevin Durant played with Kyrie Irving and James Harden and all that team. LeBron plays with AD. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why he is so always like looked down upon. The numbers speak his greatness. When you see him play in the playoffs, when you see him take over games, you can see his greatness. Defensively, it is absolutely like in your face how good he is defensively when he wants to be. So what is it that people find him underrated? You know, I don't get it. So that's my question about Kawhi. It's like, I feel bad for Kawhi that bit. I mean, you should answer because you put him 7. That's why I keep asking you why you put him 7. And I just
put him 7 because I found 6 players better than him. That's it. I'm not saying that he's horrible. I'm just saying that there are 6 players better than him.
I agree. But in what sense did you think they were better than him? Like, so the people you put in front of was Jokic. Okay, Jokic, Embiid,
Giannis,
Steph. Okay.
I don't know who number 5 was.
You put KD.
But KD didn't be count already.
But KD
and LeBron.
No. I would say that Kawhi will definitely go above KD and LeBron.
No.
You can argue that he's also above Giannis. You could argue that.
Giannis, he goes above Giannis, not from the regular season. I don't think so.
You could argue that. I'm just saying, like,
I mean, okay, of course, you could argue.
Right. And you could argue that about Steph also, but then Steph is just, you know, we let Steph get the points because shitty team and all that stuff. But I mean, winning matters, right? I mean, the reason why Jokic is an MVP is because he won at a very high rate in the West. I don't think there's any player that is as efficient and lethal than Kawhi Leonard. I mean, I really don't think so. I just don't think so because he doesn't hold the ball. I mean, he's kind of like Klay Thompson on steroids, you know, like Klay Thompson. The reason why Klay Thompson is amazing is because he can give you like 25 without taking any possessions. Like, he's just like like he'll punch you in your face, you know, and that's kind of how Kawhi Leonard is. Like, because of his less usage rate, he makes the Clippers better. You know, like, he gives more room for Paul George to score, do his like in the between dribbles and all that stuff. So Kawhi Leonard is, in my opinion, like the most efficient scorer in the NBA. He really is. And defensively, I think he's much better than any of these other top guys. So I don't see why he's always like looked down upon. Like, I just don't get it.
I don't think being top 10 in the NBA is being looked down upon us. That's what my point is. Like,
no, but
it seems like we put him in some 15-20 region. What do you think? According to you, he's the number 3rd player in the league.
I think he's a top 3 player, and I think we need to look more into how efficient, like how good he is offensively, because we don't talk about how good he is offensively. We talk about Steph Curry putting threes, scoring 32, 30. Yeah, you're going to score 30. You're going to average 30 to 33 if you're going to like take 500 shots. You know, it's like, I hate to bring this. It's like Kobe Bryant, right? Like, yeah, you are going to average 35 if you're going to take 45 shots. Yeah, you know, yes, you are, because you are that great. You know, no one's taking away from Kobe's greatness as a scorer, but you can't just look at the number of points and usage rate is important. Efficiency is important. All of these things are important things. You know, like, you can't just say, okay, he scored 35. It's just very casual shit. So the final point that I want to make is that we need to look closely at how good Kawhi Leonard is offensively, right? We
Is
can't
there
be
any
just
number that is there for
wait,
you
wait.
to be
Yes,
like?
yes. We can't be like casual people where we say, oh, he's only averaging 25. He's only, when you talk about efficiency in offense and how good a person is offensively, right? Right now, the best offensive player in the NBA is Nikola Jokic, because he can throw 30 on you, and he can also like completely destroy you offensively, just from a player perspective, right? I don't think Kawhi can make players around him better. The only way he can make players around him better, and probably this is what he has realized by himself, is like, I'm not a great passer of the ball. The way I can make my team better is by being extremely efficient and making my usage rate as low as possible. And if you listen to even Kevin Durant's, like, when he talks, I mean, for all the shit Kevin Durant does, Kevin Durant's pursuit for basketball and basketball like greatness has always been on the skill side. I remember him talking to Bill Simmons in one of his very early pods, where he said, the only thing I care about is efficiency, because that's the purest form of basketball. Anybody can drop 40 points on you and take 30 points. And I think maybe there was a slight dig towards Russell Westbrook, but I don't know. I don't really know that. But and most top players believe in that. Like Michael Jordan, phenomenally efficient. Every shot was just like a pure good shot. And he took a lot of shots. The only problem with Kawhi is he doesn't take a lot of shots. And I think the reason for that is he feels he's got little spurs in him, which is like, okay, this is the team. You have to be unselfish, all that bullshit. Like how many times did he drive into the paint against the Utah Jazz and just kick out the ball instead of taking the shot?
Yeah, many times.
And the reason for that is because Marcus Morris had not started. He was trying to get them, all right, like if the three start hitting, then my 2-pointers become more efficient, right? So I think we just need to look at his offensive game, because I don't think there's a doubt about his defensive ability. I think the offensive ability needs to be looked at a little bit more better and understand how good he is. And I think he's at the level of KD.
Efficiently.
Yes. And also from a like unstoppable kind of way, but that is yet to be seen, because I think the only thing that Kevin has is like his fucking 7 foot. He rises, then no one can stop him. That's something that Kawhi doesn't have. But otherwise, they are offensively like very, very good. That's my point. It's like we need to look closely, and don't be casuals.
From one offensive person to another offensive opinion. This time, Stephen A. Smith has gone on record and said that Donovan Mitchell is a greater Jazz player than John Stockton and Karl Malone. With the thoughts and prayers.
I mean, this is what Stephen A. Smith wants. We're giving him what he wants. We're giving him his name being said in podcasts in India.
I absolutely agree with that. This is a ridiculous. I know, but like Donovan Mitchell, I pronounce Donovan Mitchell one of the absolute stud boys when he whooped my OKC single-handedly. Like he went right up there and boom, boom. He absolutely destroyed that team. Like he dissected it. Like he like like Luka did in the first 2 games against Clippers. He came in there. He's like, no, I'm gonna do my thing. And even in today's like these series, man, like the way that he gets his points is so crazy. It's so amazing.
Fast and like kind of like Dwayne Wade, kind of like they always compare him, and I think it's a very
I never saw that comparison, but I can see because of the pure speed aspect of it. Like Dwayne Wade also split the double team, and then he was like, gone.
Yeah, as soon as Dwayne Wade got his first step, it's over.
That was he was really fast. I mean, you guys, any of you guys haven't seen, please go and check out Dwayne Wade's
old
before
Dwayne Wade,
LeBron came on his team. Like Dwayne Wade was
it was called the Flash for a reason.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Okay, so we're not going to talk much about this thing.
I mean, we can talk about it. I mean, like, okay, if Stephen A. Smith is Stephen A. Smith's argument is that Donovan Mitchell is a more complete offensive player than Karl Malone, sure. He can drive in, he's got a pull up, he's got a 3-pointer, he dishes the ball. Okay, I get it. But man, dude, Karl Malone is number 2 scorer of all time. Unstoppable. That pick and roll, people have watched tapes of it every single day. on repeat, and they couldn't stop that shit. John Stockton has 15,000 assists. He's like 4,000 assists ahead than the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
Like, stop it, Stephen A. Smith. I mean, like,
there are
ridiculous.
people who retire without having 4,000 career assists.
Yeah.
That many
like,
over than next person.
It's a ridiculous statement to make. I can see it from, just like I said, an overall offensive arsenal. Yeah, obviously, Donovan Mitchell has more than Karl Malone. But you don't have to have more if you have these 2 moves that can give you 36,000 points.
Yeah.
What else do you need? It's like Timmy's bank shot. I got my bank shot. I got my baby hook. That's all I need. Because Kareem's got a sky hook, and I was like, yeah, take it. Just all day. Just he puts his hand up, the ball sticks, then he takes his hand down.
It'd be great to have like an offensive weapon, which everybody is like, I am just hoping that it doesn't go in. Like, you remember that Austin Rivers meme where Dame in that 55-point game, Dame shoots, he misses, and Austin Rivers like, oh, thank God. Like, was the centers all over the NBA in the 70s and 80s.
That point, and Kareem was just like, if you see his like his highlights, it's just like, it's unfair, it's really unfair. He'll stand,
and he wasn't even that strong. Like, it's not like
he wasn't strong. He'll put he's 7'2", he'll just put his hand up there, the ball will come and stick into his big hand. Then he'll crouch down, he'll take like 2 dribbles,
jump up,
done.
Beautiful shot.
Like, just can't do anything. And the reason why he developed the skyhook, right?
Yeah, because I think he used to play in his high school against taller kids, and they would always block his shots. So
No.
Strong people. No.
He was always the tallest kid. But when he played in high school, they banned dunking because he was so dominant. They banned dunking because of him.
But okay, I mean, I think he developed it before that also. But I mean,
no.
The Lou Alcindor rule is there because of him, obviously. But I think he talked about somewhere where he developed that shot because, like that, there was this one guy who could stop everything that he does because he was like much better professional and all that. But the only thing that he could not stop of Kareem's was the skyhook, because that was coming from an abnormally large distance, and then once it goes down, you can't do anything to it.
I mean, that's not the story.
Please tell the audience about the Lou Alcindor rule in the NCAA.
Yeah, so I mean, if you didn't know this, but my GOAT is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for his dominance in fucking 3 decades.
Everywhere, school,
high school, you name it,
and society meet, everywhere.
Society meet, everything. He destroyed everybody. Anyway, so the rule is that you can't dunk in high school. Like, dunks were completely banned because he was, I think, 7 foot in high school, and all he did was just poop, 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 poop. So they said you can't dunk anymore. So he's like, okay, I can't dunk. Then what do I do? So that's when he started practicing the hook shot, which turned into the sky hook. And he developed that even further in college, because I think college banned dunking because
college banned dunking. No, high school mein nahi. It was college was
no, but I think they banned dunking because of Wilt Chamberlain.
No. It's called the Lou Alcindor rule in the NCAA.
But what?
Because they stopped banning, because he was so dominant that they said no dunking.
Yeah, right. It's a college, not college. Yeah, it's college.
Today, if you're too dominant, they'll make the rule to help you. Back then, they were too dominant. They were like, no, we need more parity in this world.
But what is the rule that they changed for Wilt Chamberlain?
Defensive goaltending they introduced. They widened the lanes.
Okay.
Those kind of things. They made it difficult for him to stay in the key for longer. Like back then, you could, like, even if the ball was going down, you could
just stay there. Yeah.
You could just stay there. Exactly. All those things they introduced.
And the only guy who could ever block their shot, and he blocked it twice, was Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah. And that 2 out of some 100 times maybe he blocked it.
Yeah. So, and you could, I don't know, for the audience, you should go and watch this documentary like called The Battle of the Giants. It's on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Like how high Wilt can jump, and still he couldn't get it. Like Wilt could go up. Like
it was a high jumper in college or something.
Wilt was, I mean, he's your GOAT, right? But Wilt was different. Wilt was built different. I mean, built differently.
But Kareem gave it to Wilt. He's like,
Oh, Kareem gave it. But I think Kareem was also much younger.
no. I mean, obviously Kareem was
yeah.
like getting, like he was the guy. He was the guy, and Wilt was like in his, no, now I'm too old. I'm going to pass the ball. Here's the ball. I'm not.
Also, like I think Bill Russell had already broken Wilt's will, like crushed it, like twisted it into pieces.
That's why he had to sleep with 20,000 women to just bring him. It's like, you're still great. It's
still great. Yeah. You know, like Bill Russell said, "Oh, bache, ऐसा सा करेंगे हम तुमको." He made it. He did this to Jerry West. A lot of greats have been forgotten because of what
Elgin Baylor,
you know, all this stuff.
Yeah, Bob Pettit, all of those people. Of course. Yeah,
anyways,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Speaking of expanding our topics, Vinny, that's a horrible segue. But the NBA is talking about expanding the league. The main, I mean, nothing official obviously has come from the NBA, but that's the rumors that have been circulating the interwebs. They're saying there will be 2 more expansion teams, Las Vegas and Seattle. I guess Las Vegas, I don't know, will it go to the east? Because no, I guess Seattle will be in the west. So Las Vegas.
East. Oh, west, yeah. Las Vegas is technically west. I don't know why it will go to the east.
I think even Oklahoma City is technically east, but like it's right in the center. So they've put it in the west.
But Las Vegas is not even in the center. It's like west.
Las Vegas is west. That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm just saying that
Nevada. Actually, Nevada is kind of long, so you can make that argument. It's kind of center.
Okay, doesn't matter. The point is, 2 more teams in the NBA. I don't know whether they're going to take away 2 teams. So my question is, if the NBA had to be like, okay, we are getting 2 teams, that means we have to remove 2 teams. Which 2 teams? So you have to remove one from the west, one from the east. Tell me who those teams are.
I think from the west, I think OKC can be taken off and sent back to its original glory of the Seattle Supersonics, or New Orleans. I don't mind New Orleans because it's a new team. They haven't really created a fan base. It was created for pity or something like that, right? I mean, they moved from, where did they move from? They moved from somewhere to New Orleans.
Really? I thought New Orleans Hornets were always the team. Like that was the Chris Paul team, right? New Orleans Hornets.
I think they moved from somewhere after the hurricane. They moved into New Orleans during the hurricane season. I don't know where. I forgot. Or maybe because I don't remember New Orleans being a team before. It's a new team. It was created by David Stern.
It might have been like when Vancouver Grizzlies and all came into the league.
Well, Vancouver Grizzlies became the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, exactly. So in that expansion, New Orleans might have come in. I don't want to do the research. You tell me. Okay.
We can put this. East. Yeah, and from the east,
I'm sure you're thinking of which teams are there in the east. So.
No. I mean, I know the right team, but I don't know if that team is doing really well right now. I mean, I would take off the Milwaukee Bucks. But the Milwaukee Bucks are doing really well. So.
But they're also a really old team, also.
They are, but like I mean, when was the Milwaukee Bucks relevant after Kareem? Not really.
Ray Allen time, I think. They were in the Eastern Conference semifinals or not? Like they used
once.
Okay, but definitely not 0 times.
I mean, who else is there in the East to really take off? I mean, I would say Hawks are good. They've had their ups and downs, but they've been relevant during the Coach
Wilkins
time.
Yeah.
Can't take off the New York Knicks. Can't take out the Nets.
No, I mean,
can't take out Bulls.
Can't take out Bulls.
Maybe Orlando Magic. We could take out Orlando Magic. Kind of useless. No real legacy.
True.
Yeah.
I think I would agree with that. What other teams are there in the East? I'm now thinking of what teams are there in the East. Detroit is there.
No, and then you have Washington Wizards.
Washington Wizards, I think you can definitely take them out.
You can't because they have a championship. The Bullets have a championship. They are a very, very, very old team.
So what?
Probably older than. I'm just saying, like they have legacy. It's not like Orlando Magic. Orlando is a newer team, not much of a legacy. They already have a team in Florida, which is called Miami Heat. Can't take Pistons out. Too much legacy.
Can't take Pistons. Can take Cavaliers out. I think nobody gives a shit about the Cavaliers. I think everyone else is sort of. Pacers are also from that
Pacers have good legacy. Yeah, Pacers
ABA
have good
team.
legacy.
Yeah, I think probably Magic.
Cavaliers and Magic. Yeah.
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 But I think Cavaliers have still won something. So birthplace of LeBron.
We have one championship. Yeah.
Magic have nothing to give in this world.
Nothing to give. Yeah. So I would say
think,
Magic.
What we have decided is Magic and Pelicans are going to find their way outside. I think fair. I think it's pretty fair. Las Vegas and Seattle. That's crazy.
I mean, Sacramento Kings is a very close second in the West, but because he has an Indian owner, we are partial.
We are keeping our mouth shut. But you did say OKC but you are saying OKC back to Seattle and then Magic away and Las Vegas is the new team. I think there should be limit on how a state cannot have like so many teams and all. Like California has Lakers. 4 Lakers.
Four. Yeah, right. Golden State,
Warriors, and Sacramento. So I think that. Yeah. But again, we can't speak shit about our future masters.
Yes. Ranadiv.
That guy got a username of Vivek only on Instagram. So I don't know how that's. What a guy.
Dude, he's a billionaire for a reason. He's a smart, hardworking, dedicated person. Like, there's no doubt about that part, right?
But maybe he can own a team elsewhere.
That's no. We are very happy with Sacramento.
Yes. Last question is favorite surprise, least favorite surprise, or even if you have just one, that's also fine.
I think my favorite surprise is how well the Phoenix Suns are executing. I'm so happy for it because I love it when like teams execute really well. Like it's just so fun to watch. It's for me, that's the key, to anything in life is execution. Like, you can have grand or lofty plans, but you don't execute, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And I love the way the Phoenix Suns are executing. Amazing. They could be the Dallas Mavericks, it's kind of a 10-year anniversary, maybe CP3, Dirk Nowitzki vibe.
Mid-range,
got a little
2-pointers.
Yeah, he's got it. So I'm that's my most fun, very happy surprise. I want to see more of the Suns. And I'm also happy that, the Utah Jazz is also there. They're also kind of like...
You're only allowed one surprise. You can't
one. Okay, what is your...
My favorite surprise has been how Donovan Mitchell has come back from that injury and just given buckets to any team. The Clippers supposed to be great offensively, defensively, nothing. He's not scared at all. He's just driving at will. He's just making a fool out of all their defensive preparations. It's a little sad that he got a little bit injured. I hope it doesn't, change the dynamic of the thing, because watching him score.
Dr. Morris will find out next game.
That's a joke from the live. So for more such jokes, you have to join the Instagram live every day, 10:30 a.m. IST. I don't know what it is in USA time, but just Google it, man. You'll find out what is 10:30 a.m. IST. It's just after the game. So, after the games, whatever the thing is. My worst surprise has been how horribly the Milwaukee Bucks has played. I really thought that they would show some sort of, we belong here. They pulled off like a great trade in Jrue Holiday. Giannis has lesser responsibilities now, but somehow they converted Brooklyn Nets' zero defense into some sort of magnificent defense. Ended up losing by 49 points. Man, come on, man! Like you can't be a championship and lose by 49 points. That's just ridiculous. That is really horrible for me, because somewhere else I still sort of have a belief that Clippers can come back, and Nuggets, I don't really blame them because they really overachieved with that roster, especially after Jamal Murray went. I did not think that they would be number 4 seed. Managed to win this series against Dame Lillard. Those are all like overachieving things. So I think I'll give them a pass for that. But Milwaukee Bucks, I feel biggest sad surprise for me.
For me, I think if I had to say, I'm being very harsh on Jokic, but because I've always, this is a shout out to my greatness, is that since day one, I've been saying Jokic is fucking amazing. Yes or no, Ashwin?
Yes.
You're the only person that has, is a what's that? You're like you're the three-eyed raven, Ashwin, did I not say this? Ashwin, like,
yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
You have compared him to the modern day Tim Duncan. Like if Tim Duncan had to play, this is how he would be reborn as. Slightly chubbier, with better
Slightly chubby,
hair,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
just as cute.
That's cute. Not as funny. Timpling is kind of a dick. Anyway, so I have such high expectations from Jokic, is that I felt like he could have been a little bit more smarter, a little bit more. I think he could have like mentally outplayed the Suns, because the Suns' game plan is there for everybody to see. It's not like they're playing anything. They're executing their game plan very high, which is always a problem. But you can counter it with like some smart, like disruptive things that I thought Jokic would come up with.
Okay.
If not the coach, I thought the Jokic would come up with some of those things, and I was a little disappointed to see him not like even try something new, right? Like he missed shots, and he put up a scoreline that has been only achieved by Kareem and Wilt, the 30, 20, 10. But it wasn't efficient. Like he missed a lot of shots. He didn't make his teammates better. So I hope Jokic redeems himself by at least winning 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, I think one game he should win, because MVP should not get swept out. That's
yeah. I think he's just such a great talent that
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it for this episode, man. Thank you so much, audience, for listening until now. And let us know what you want us to discuss. We are on Halftime Sports. The app Halftime Sports is Halftime Sports, right? Yes, it's
Halftime Sports.
Halftime Sports. We're there. Go find us there. Follow us there. And like we are going to host a few audio rooms soon. We have yet to work out the final details of that, but very, very soon we'll be hosting rooms there, and to an American audience. It's exciting time for us. We are really excited to be part of there, because it shows that our hard work has somehow been noticed by some people who are in the business, and we love appreciation just as much as the next guy. So
yeah,
for that,
and it's very few people have been invited. I was looking at the people that they've invited to their app, and it's like people that have a lot of following, and I think it's really cool that they asked us to come and host rooms. I think it shows a lot about
we are really proud, because we are always proud of our work, and always critical also, but also very happy with what we've done. Anyways, leaving that aside, Vineet, like, share, follow. Please follow the podcast wherever you're listening to us. Let us know where you are listening to us also. Like, come to our Instagram page. We do the Instagram live. That's what we are doing. This entire NBA playoffs is all about talking to our fans. So please come on there, say hi, ask us to call you in, and we'll bring you in. We love talking to our audience, because they have their own quirks and their own interests and stuff. It's
also like audience. Good some a lot of them have a good points also. I'm quite surprised. I mean, I like that about our fans. Is like they're smart and they like have some good insights.
Absolutely. And of course, we talk to many people, man. Like, let us know. And that's it. Like, share, follow wherever you're watching it there. Like, share, follow, subscribe, do all the thing. And we need to say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.